So what happens when we pair a budget mini PC like this with a 240Hz display like this? This, of course, being the HyperX Armada 25 240Hz 1080p display. A display that I was actually able to get at Micro Center for only $130 on sale. It is a pretty fantastic buy, since it is IPS as well. But what's going to be running all of this is, of course, the Beelink SER5 Max that is rocking a Ryzen 7 5800H with a TDP of 54 watts. Putting this entire system together is actually the display port that comes built in with the Beelink SER5 Max. This is what's going to give us the 1080p 240Hz that we need. Keep in mind though that while this is what I'm going to be using to actually play at 240Hz, the gameplay that you'll be seeing was captured afterwards with a capture card because my capture card only lets me output up to 120Hz. So the first game that I decided to take a look at on this system to try to see if we could get to 240Hz was Valorant. Unfortunately, while we were getting some pretty fantastic FPS averages, we were nowhere near the 240Hz that this display was capable of. Play a few games while hooked up to this display though, and it did feel incredibly smooth and responsive. But of course, we were nowhere near utilizing the full capabilities of this display with this title, which is a bit unfortunate because I had kind of hoped that this would be the title to do it. So if this couldn't do it, it does not bode well for the rest of the titles that we're going to be testing here. Now, another title that I found that plays extremely well on this low-end hardware is Titanfall 2. Here you can see running with the single-player campaign. And we are reaching some very, very high FPS averages and 1% lows, but still nowhere near utilizing the full capabilities of this display. Now, if we were on a 144Hz display, this would be pretty much a perfect pairing for it. And it's not to say that we don't benefit at all from this 240Hz display. It's certainly one of the best IPS displays you can have in terms of responsiveness, but we aren't fully maximizing its capability with a system like this. Now, at this point, I had very little hope that we would find any title that would be able to pretty much maximize the capabilities of this display. And unfortunately, Rainbow Six Siege is just too demanding, even at the lowest in-game graphics settings, except for the textures being set to their maximum. We are using FSR at its most aggressive preset. So this is at the performance preset, and you can very much tell with the quality impact that we take, and it's still not enough to push us to even 120 FPS average. So while it felt great to play, again, we weren't fully utilizing the capabilities of this display. So the last game that I actually ended up taking a look at was Battlebit Remastered, and this was one of the closest that we pretty much ended up getting to actually fully utilizing the capabilities of this display. And of course, we weren't even hitting the full 144Hz. So this display really seems to be overkill in terms of pairing with this specific system, though for the price that I got it, it actually is a fantastic pairing, since you could pretty much pick up this display at Micro Center when it was on sale for $130, and this current system sells right now for around $300. Putting those two together, you actually get a really fantastic deal. But of course, there are a lot more displays out there that are around the 144Hz range. They're still within that price range that would probably pair with this system a lot better. But if you could pick up this display on sale at that price, there's pretty much no reason not to get it, even if you can't fully utilize it. A display like that is more than likely going to last you a long time, and your system right now might not be able to fully utilize it, but maybe the one you have in a few years down the line will be. But it's clear that we are just not there yet for these more budget-orientated mini PCs to be able to do some ultra-high refresh rate gaming. Maybe if we can get in some RDNA 2 or RDNA 3 based iGPUs, we could see if that is going to be capable. But until then, pretty much none of these games ended up performing to the level that I was hoping they would. But it is asking a lot of a mini PC like this. And what we actually ended up finding out is that the best pairing with this is really a 144Hz display. And a lot of these titles, you were going to be able to pretty much fully utilize that. So pretty impressive overall. So if you're interested in picking up this display or this mini PC, check out the links down below. And of course, consider becoming a channel member for as little as $1 a month. I'll see you guys next time.